Episode 1. Know your place, you daughter of a manual laborer. You should be grateful just to be the daughter-in-law of our family. The sharp, venomous words of mother-in-law Malsoon tore through the private room of the high-end Korean fine dining restaurant. In front of the family gathered for her 65th birthday, her daughter-in-law Seo-yeon bowed her head deeply, her entire body trembling. It was a public humiliation repeated for the 5th year in a row, but today felt especially cruel. Parasite who can't even bear a child, just wasting our nights. At this additional attack, Seo-yeon's tears fell drop by drop. Her husband, Do-yeon, didn't even look at her, let alone hold her hand, while Shin-woo smirked and joined in. As Seo-yeon lifted a water glass with a trembling hand, she fumbled, and the spilled water dampened the hem of her mother-in-law's dress. "You incompetent fool, you can't even do this properly," Malsoon's sharp criticism followed. Trembling from the sense of guilt, Seo-yeon finally excused herself to go to the restroom, fleeing the scene. But hidden within this entire situation was a shocking secret that no one could have ever imagined. What exactly is the astonishing identity that Seo-yeon has been desperately hiding for 5 years? Before we begin the full story, we'd appreciate a free, no-obligation subscription and a like. We thank all our subscribers for their constant support. Now, let's begin today's story. Seo-yeon, why are you peeling the apple skin so thickly? The flesh is all gone. The sharp criticism of mother-in-law Malsoon fell. Even at 65, she was still full of charisma, sitting upright on the sofa, monitoring her daughter-in-law's every move. Seo-yeon's hands trembled slightly, but she picked up the fruit knife again without a word. "I'm sorry, Mother. I'll peel it again." Seo-yeon's voice was small and shaky. Do-yeon, who was watching TV in the corner of the living room, glanced at his wife, but soon averted his gaze. The 38-year-old mid-career lawyer always avoided intervening in such situations. Malsoon clicked her tongue. The small sound seemed to echo throughout the living room. "Didn't you learn even these basics growing up in a manual laborer's family? It's pathetic that our Do-yeon married someone like you. Pathetic." Seo-yeon's face flushed bright red. The fruit knife in her hand shook, but she still kept her head bowed. Whenever she heard insults about her father, something surged from deep within her chest, but she had to endure it. The truth was, Seo-yeon's father was not a manual laborer. He was the son of Tae-soo, the founder of Dongwon Construction. But he passed away early, and her grandfather had given her a special test: to live for 5 years with her identity hidden. The promised time now had only 2 months left. And Malsoon leaned forward. Her gaze grew colder. "It's been 5 years since you got married. When are you going to have a child? You're already 37. If it gets any later, you won't even be able to have one." Tears welled up in Seo-yeon's eyes. The issue of a child was her most painful wound. The hospital said there was nothing wrong, but she hadn't gotten pregnant. Yet her mother-in-law always blamed her as if it were solely her fault. "Mother, we are trying." Seo-yeon barely managed to speak, but Malsoon snorted. "Trying? What nonsense. If you were a proper woman, you would have had 2 children by now. The disgrace to our family is unspeakable. Have you ever thought about how I feel, having to listen to my friends brag about their grandchildren all the time?" Do-yeon finally spoke up. "Mom, please stop. It's hard for Seo-yeon too." But his voice lacked strength. It was a perfunctory defense. Malsoon shot her son a sharp look. "If you were a proper man, this wouldn't have happened. How can a lawyer be so pathetic?" Do-yeon closed his mouth. Seo-yeon looked at her husband and felt a deeper sense of despair. In the early days of their marriage, he had tried to protect her, but as time went on, he increasingly took his mother's side. Malsoon stood up. She stood in front of Seo-yeon, looking down at her. "I'm telling you clearly, if there's no news of a pregnancy by the end of this year, get a divorce. Our Do-yeon needs to meet a better woman and start over." Seo-yeon's body stiffened. The word divorce echoed in her ears. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but she couldn't say anything. "I understand, Mother." Seo-yeon's voice was so small it was almost inaudible. Mal-soo nodded with a satisfied expression. "Good. You know what to do. Know your place? You should be grateful just to be the daughter-in-law of our family, you daughter of a manual laborer." After Mal-soon went into her room, only Seo-yeon and Do-yeon remained in the living room. Do-yeon hesitated, then approached his wife. He looked like he didn't know what to say. "Seo-yeon, don't take Mom's words to heart." "Don't take it to heart?" Seo-yeon slowly raised her head and looked at her husband. Her eyes were red and swollen, her lips trembling. "How can I not take it to heart when I'm insulted like that every time? But she's my mom. It will get better with time." Seo-yeon let out a bitter smile. In 5 years, it had never gotten better. On the contrary, it had gotten worse over time. She stood up, holding onto her knees. Her legs felt weak and she staggered, but she refused Do-yeon's help. She wanted to stand on her own. The sky outside the window was clear, but Seo-yeon's heart was filled with dark clouds. What will happen when Seo-yeon's true identity is finally revealed? Will her mother-in-law's cruel world come crashing down? Find out in the next episode.